There's a bite. Good fish. My. How about that? He liked that big old worm. Come on in here, buddy. That fish was about 6 inches deep, right at the edge of the grass. And he thought he done ate himself a snake. I'll show you why. Look at the worm this thing ate. That's a big bait for a pretty good sized fish. Oh, he really thought he had found himself a snake. Oh, I rehooked him. Pretty large mouth. Oh, we may be on to something, or it may just be the fact that they're tight to cover like I thought to begin with. Sun's getting low, it'll be going down here in just a little while. But that's a fine largemouth, about 14 inches. And he ate a 12-inch worm. So he was hungry. So we're gonna ease him on back. That water's cooled off since all this rain. Maybe we can locate us another one that pretty.
Yak lights, the industry standard for kayak lighting. Assembled in the USA and including a lifetime warranty on all lights, you can rest assured that you will have the best looking boat on the water. Yak lights are made from solid aluminum, making them the toughest light strips on the market. Our lights are designed for the professional angler who wants to be safe on the water while remaining discreet. Yak lights, light up the night.
Now that fish was he was really shallow. He was almost in the grass. I saw the weeds part because my bait landed in the weeds and that fish was already up in those weeds hunting him a meal. So we're gonna continue on with this big worm, throwing it shallow, and see if we can find another one. Now this up ahead of us looks like a really good place, especially with the water. Well, if I hadn't thrown it up in the squirrels. There we go. But it's got vegetation that runs in and out, and it makes all kinds of little pockets and hiding places. I'm gonna scoot that across that mat and drop it down just like a snake fell in the water. That's what these big worms, these 10, 11, 12-inch worms represent, is small snakes. And that's a good meal for a bass. If he can grab a hold of one of those, he's done well for a while. I'm gonna have to keep adjusting or the wind's gonna push me up in here before I get a chance to work it, which I don't want that to happen. Now guys, this is the second segment of the show, different day. You'll recognize this worm again. I'm alternating between a 12-inch worm and a bluegill size swim bait, and hoping to get a hold to some good quality fish today or for the show. What we're doing actually is we're filming in between storms. I've probably got an hour according to the radar. You can't tell it now, but in this weather is just crazy. We're having really bad weather. It'll come a monsoon and then the sun comes out, and then 45 minutes to 2 hours later there'll be another monsoon with thunder and lightning, and it's probably going to be like this for the next 3 or 4 days. So I'm trying to get as much fishing in as I can and get as much film shot. I'm going to work the outside of these brush piles to see if we've got anything out kind of suspended off the brush. I know it's kind of hard to see, but that's what I'm doing. I've got brush laid out in the water, and I'm working the very ends of them that are in the deeper part of the water first. And with all this rain, it's been 4 or 5 days since I caught my first fish of the show. We're right back into the muddy water again, and I still believe bass are going to be tight to cover. So that's where we're going to continue to look. Your biggest fish are going to be around the best cover, the best places. So that's where we're going to look for them. Plus this water being really high, when you have high water, fish often go shallow. New food, not only have you got new food washed in, you've got new areas to explore, fresh grass to hide in and search for, you know, they can just search for food in areas that normally would have been dry land. So I'm working the outside edges of brush piles, and then I'm going to work my way up in toward the trunk of the trees. There's one. Oh, a pretty good fish too. Pretty good fish on the big worm. Where you going? That's what we came to catch. Come on up here, buddy. Let's let everybody see you. Show the camera. How about that? 12-inch worm. Most definitely not a 12-inch bass. Easy, 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 easy. Oh, he just ripped my thumb half off. Whoo! That was nice. Really nice. Big worm. Big bass. That's nice right there. Gotta use a big hook to get through that plastic, because that's a lot of plastic and you need a good medium heavy to heavy rod to set the hook, and that can be the results right there. That is a beautiful largemouth. This water has cooled down. They're moved shallow. That fish, he bloodied my hand, ripping around, but that's okay. It's part of fishing. He is, or she is gaining weight back. The spawn is over. You can see the gut coming back on that fish. That's a real good sign that the fish are healthy and they're eating again. And that fish ate a big bait. Back you go, girl. That is so much fun. That makes me shake. That's why I go fishing. Can't wait to get these worms up on Lake Guntersville. I think in the next, I don't know if I'll get up there this week. Maybe next week I'll get to go. These storms are keeping me close to home. Like right now, I'm 15 minutes from my house, and I can be loaded up and at home in 30 minutes or less. If I was at Lake Guntersville, I would end up in bad weather, an hour away from home, plus 20 minutes loading up, or wherever I got caught out on the lake, that amount of time getting back to the truck. So I'm hanging close to home. Now actually the sky has darkened since I have been here. It was actually hot just a few minutes ago, and it has dropped tremendously. The clouds are moving in, so I don't have much longer to fish. So we're gonna... Would you like to spend your summer riding your motorcycle? Don't spend your time on the side of the road waiting on a tow truck. Give DJ's Enhanced a call for all your motorcycle tire needs. Danny is a rider, and he can treat your bike as if it's his own.
Yak lights, the industry standard for kayak lighting. Assembled in the USA and including a lifetime warranty on all lights, you can rest assured that you will have the best looking boat on the water. Yak lights are made from solid aluminum, making them the toughest light strips on the market. Our lights are designed for the professional angler who wants to be safe on the water while remaining discreet. Yak lights, light up the night.
Now how I caught that fish was putting this bait in the edge of the grass and actually swimming it. I wasn't really stopping it and bumping it like I usually normally would bump a worm or twitch a worm or any of that kind of stuff. I'm swimming this bait so that when it hits rocks and bumps around and goes over dips and little valleys in the bottom, it looks like a bait on the move, like a snake. And that's my intention, is to make it look like a snake, because it's too big for a worm. There's not worms crawling around on the bottom that's this long, but there are snakes that come in and out of this grass looking for little frogs, minnows, lizards, salamanders, and you better believe these big bass will take advantage of that. I've seen bass eat baby ducks, bullfrogs that would be bigger than my hands, try to get pigeons walking on the side. I've not actually seen one eat a pigeon, but they have tried. But I have seen baby ducks go down and never come back up. I know that sounds cruel and mean, but bass are predators. They're gonna eat what they can get a hold of. And that's just an easy meal, is a snake swimming along the edge of the grass, unaware of anything below them. And so that's 2 on the big worm. And we're gonna swim. Oh, there's a bite and a miss. And something you do not see very often is a rabbit just swam out of the grass. Have never seen that in my life. Hopefully to God that showed up on camera. Have never seen a rabbit swim in the water. Well, I just did, and I hope I got that on film. That is something that is most definitely odd to me. And I don't think there's a bass in here big enough to eat that rabbit, because it looked like a big jackrabbit. Really good size. You never know. Mother Nature, you just never know what Mother Nature's gonna throw at you. And sometimes you're just lucky enough to be there when it happens. And that was one of those times, because I could go back and tell all my friends, a rabbit swam out in the water while I was fishing. They will all say, well, you're crazy. I'm just praying I got that on film. I hope I got that. I've seen deer swim in the water, foxes. You know, a fox is like a little dog. They're basically a dog. They don't care to get wet. But the rabbit thing, now that's different. I've never seen that. I have no idea what ran it out in the water. If there's a bite. Oh, and another miss. My problem with these big worms is something that I should know better. I cannot set the hook on these like I do the little worms. I have to let them get that thing in their mouth. I've missed 2 fish now because of it, and I'm gonna have to blame it on me. Fisherman error, impatience. So we're gonna put it back in the grass, let it come out of the grass, just like a snake landed in the water. We're gonna swim it along and see what happens. Maybe I didn't scare that one off. Maybe he had a friend, who knows? I need to rehook, so I think I'm gonna turn this one around a little bit, so my hook gets a little better bite, and we'll quit sliding up and down so much. I'm still running it through the worm, and then I'm tucking it up against the worm. That way, when that fish gets that in its mouth, I can still get a hook set, and it doesn't have to come through so much plastic. There's a bite. Now I'm gonna give him a couple seconds, see if he's gonna keep it. Got him. Another decent fish. Not as big as the first one, but giving him the time to get a hold of that bait was the difference. I firmly believe that. Oh, I'm gonna get a bath. All right, easy buddy, easy buddy. Easy. Don't put that hook in me. Got him. Another decent fish. Oh, right in the bottom of the lip. On the big 12-inch worm. That's so cool. Now I've got water all over me. Skies behind me are getting dark. Out in front still looks pretty. Behind me is looking a little ominous. So I don't know how much longer I've got. So back you go. I'm gonna get dried off a little bit and try to get some cast in. Man, these fish can sling some water. When you're sitting right on the water versus fishing in a bass boat or a higher up boat, doesn't have to be a regular bass boat, could be a John boat or anything else, and they splash, you're gonna get wet. That's just, it's just how it is. And if you don't want to get wet, you don't need to be a kayak fisherman, because you're gonna get wet. And I may get drowned here in a few minutes. We're gonna swim, stop. I'm gonna swim it, stop and reel, let it sit there for a minute, and I'm gonna swim it some more. That was a pretty good shot there, right in the edge of the weeds. I'm gonna swim it out. Was hoping to get a reaction bite that time, but it just didn't happen. Gonna put it in the weeds and pull it out. And just make a commotion and begin swimming it. Oh, there's a fish up in there, and I can't get him for throwing it in the tree. Let's see if he'll bite. I know there's one in there. I gotta get him. I gotta get the food to him. There he is. Got him. Oh no, and he came off. Man, I hate that. He showed himself. I got him to bite, and then I didn't get a good hook set. Would you like to spend your summer riding your motorcycle? Don't spend your time on the side of the road waiting on a tow truck. Give DJ's Enhanced a call for all your motorcycle tire needs. Danny is a rider, and he will treat your bike as if it's his own.
Yak lights, the industry standard for kayak lighting. Assembled in the USA and including a lifetime warranty on all lights, you can rest assured that you will have the best looking boat on the water. Yak lights are made from solid aluminum, making them the toughest light strips on the market. Our lights are designed for the professional angler who wants to be safe on the water while remaining discreet. Yak lights, light up the night.